So good morning or good night, depending on where you are, and welcome to another album review of The Shield Dude in a Couch. I'm your host, Hector, and today we're going to talk about the brand new album by Periphery, and it's called Periphery V. Djent is not a genre. And the first thing you have to ask yourself, is it a genre? I think so, but Periphery always has these funny titles in their albums. And this is a modern band that I have been following for the last 12 years. They came out in the 2010s. And the first time that I heard the band was that they were on a compilation album and they had a cover of Master of Puppets by Metallica. But it sounded modern, it sounded different, fresh. So I checked out their first album and I have been a fan ever since. So this is their seventh album, and the band is no longer with Sumerian Records. They're with their own record label, Free Dot Recordings. So Periphery is now free to do whatever the fuck Periphery wants to do. So do they do that on this album? The answer is yes. This is an album that finds the band experimenting more on their progressive side, but also experimenting with some pop sensibilities and even some mathcore. So they go back to their roots a little bit on this album in one of the songs that I will mention later. So the album is a whopping 70-minute length affair, 9 songs. And the band really knows how to do their albums. They're really talented. And before this album dropped, they had 3 singles on it, including Wildfire, which was one of the singles, Atropos, and Sugros. And all 3 singles were very promising. For example, Wildfire starts the album, and this track has everything that I love about Periphery in 7 minutes. You know, there's great melodies, there's great guitar riffing. They use some electronics and some sounds to give more layers to the song. And Spencer Sotelo does a great job on it, singing the clean vocals, the harsher vocals. And when he goes like, is it like wildfire? I just love it when he sings the chorus part. It's really catchy, but it's catchy without being like syrupy or corny. So they do a really great job on that track. Then the second track, Atropos, which was one of the singles that they released, I think there's more pop sensibilities on this one. Like, for example, on Periphery 4, Hellstand, they had It's All Smiles. So this one has some of that track on it, you know, that it has some pop on it, but it doesn't go full pop. It maintains their degentness, if it is indeed a genre. And they do it really well on this track. And I thought it was a very good second album song to, you know, follow the first one. So the album starts really strongly. Then the album goes into Wax Wings, and Wax Wings is more of a Djent type of number. It really has a lot of influence from Meshuggah. And if you think about it, Meshuggah is the forefathers of Djent. And it's a really great track, very fast-paced, very pummeling. But then it goes into Everything Is Fine. And Everything Is Fine is the most frantic song on this album. They really embrace the mathcore on this one. They really do a lot of, it sounds like the Dillinger Escape Plan, just to name a band. And it's really frantic, and you don't know in the 5 minutes, it has so many changes. It's very aggressive in the vocals. So Spencer Sotelo here really gives into those aggressive vocals, and it really pummels you into submission. And then they follow it with the most serene track on the album called Silhouette. And Silhouette is less than 5 minutes, and it has more like synth pop on it, keyboards, and Spencer Sotelo singing all cleans. And this sounds like a song that would have been great for it. It sounds like kind of 80s, but obviously with a modern production. And to me, it's not a bad song, but it is indeed the weakest track on the album. But I can see why Periphery shows this track in the middle, because it's a great way to have like a palate cleanser to prepare you for the second half of the album, the last 4 songs. And in the last 4 songs of the album, I think it's where Periphery truly embraced their progressive side and it's really where the experimentation takes place the most on the last four songs. And I think that's Silhouette is a good halfway, to get you prepared and to give you a little breather after everything is fine. That it's really frantic. So I get it where they put it there. So the last four songs, Dying Star, Sagros, Dracula Grass, and Thanks Nobu, the last four ones are the last two songs are the longest on the album. So Dying Star is an interesting track because it follows a little bit of the pop sensibilities that are on Silhouette, but they have more aggressive guitar on it. So it sounds more like This Is All Smile from Hail Stand. So I like that because even though it's more commercial sounding, they still have the heavy guitars on it. So that's what Silhouette was missing for me. Then you have one of the most frantic songs on the album besides Everything Is Fine with Sagros. Sagros is all over the place. It has clean vocals. It has some great guitars on it, melodic guitars, but it also has some harsher death metal vocals in some parts. And then it's followed by Dracula Grass, and that's a really long song. It has one of the better guitar solos on it halfway through the song. And I think it really blends in well with how it has a lot of like great singing by Spencer Sotelo again on it. And then the album closer, Thanks Nobu, it's another great track, a great album closer. Again, they have this progressive side to them on this one, and some electronics on the track that really blend in well. So my nitpicks for this album is, especially on the last three songs, they're really good, but they're long. And at the ending minutes, like the end 3 minutes for all three songs for Sagres, Dracula Grass, and Thanks Nobu, have some like instrumental music that sounds more like a score to a movie. And if Periphery ever decides to do a score for a movie, it would be great because they're really talented and they can do it well. But my question is, do they really need those long interludes or like new instrumental music to go into the next track? I don't think so. I think it kills momentum a little bit and it makes the album drag just a little bit. I think that at a whopping 70 minutes, if you would have trimmed a little bit of those instrumentals and make this like an hour album, I think it would flow better. Do not get me wrong. This is a fantastic release by Periphery. Does it top Periphery V Select Difficulty? For me, no. To me, that's their best album yet. But this one, I enjoyed it more than Hail Stand, and it's really another great album for Periphery. To me, this is a band that has not released a bad album yet. They're very promising, and they're one of my favorite modern metal bands because they just do whatever they want to do. So what did you think about Periphery V, Djent is not a genre? Do you think Djent is a genre? Comment, what are your favorite tracks of this album? I would really want to know. And if you like the videos that I'm putting out, do not forget to give me a like and do not forget to subscribe. So until next time, people, this is Hector, the Shield on a couch, and I'll see you right here on the couch. Thank you and good night.